Today I'm going to speak about just how the Salaf Salihin approached the journey of Hajj. Okay? Now, any of us gone for Hajj before? Raise your hand. 1, 2, 3 sisters, 4, 5, 6. So this is a perfect time to speak about this with all of you. And you guys are all young, inshallah, and some of you are older, right? And those have even gone once. This is relevant to you guys. Maybe they'll post this. This is not really relevant to those who are in Hajj, but there'll be some things I'll talk about that because you guys are not going for Hajj. But how the Salaf Salihin approached the journey of Hajj. And the reason why I say this is because Ibn al-Qayyim rahmatullah, he speaks about this in quite detail, and he says that the Salaf Salihin, they used to do a lot of Hajj. Why? رَجَاءً تُخْتَمْ حَيَاتٌ بِهِ. Like because they would love, their hope was that they would die in Hajj or in the journey of Hajj. Because it was common among the Salaf Salihin that, they would want to die in either one of these 3 situations. Like this is where they would want to die. They would plan their death and like, okay, if I can die in this will be, dream come true. First would be in the path of Allah in jihad as shaheed. This is a beautiful death. Die serving Allah's deen, protecting Allah's deen. The second would be an Hajj and Umrah in one of the 2 sacred cities, or on the journey to the sacred city, or on the way back. So they call it Safarul Hajj, Safarul Umrah. Like you don't have to make it there. That's a beautiful thing about deen. Like the journey has so much to do with the destination as well. Right? People just started to become hafiz, memorize 1, 2 juz. They're on the journey to become hafiz. Allah will inshallah resurrect them among hufaz. So it's like forget thinking about getting to the destination. Just get on the journey. Like you don't have to get better. Just get on the journey to get better. That's all that matters. Mufti Rafi Uthmani, rahmatullah alayhi, I remember the first time I heard him speak, and he was a great, great Mufti. He was one of Mufti Adam. Man, I don't know. I always want to do a topic that I don't get emotional, but somehow he was such a great man. And I remember the first time I heard him speak, it was in Toronto. And I was fascinated by a poem he said. I was like, this doesn't even make sense. But it taught me how much this man loved Allah and his husnul dhan with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He said a poem in Farsi, which I didn't memorize at that time. And I only got to meet him once after that. And so it was like, couldn't get it from him, and inshallah one day I'll find it. But he said that my example is like the alcoholic, right? Mufti. Mufti Adam. He said, my example is like an alcoholic who drinks 1 sip of alcohol. He drinks 1 sip of alcohol and he puts it down. And then as soon as he puts it down, he remembers he's Muslim. And he remembers he's Allah's servant. And he remembers this is haram, so he does tawbah. He said, Allah, forgive me, forgive me, forgive me, forgive me, forgive me. And then shaitan motivates him again. So he's still sitting in front of the alcohol like this. He drinks a sip, astaghfirullah, I don't know what I'm doing. And then shaitan pushes him again, he drinks another sip. And then he's like, astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah. Man, what did I just do wrong? He feels really bad about it. But it's right in front of him. He can smell it. And then he drinks it again. He says, my example is like the alcoholic who drinks and then feels bad. Drinks and then feels bad. I didn't just say astaghfirullah because the word he uses feel bad. You can't just do sins and not feel bad and just say astaghfirullah. He says, this is how my life is, and my hope and dua to Allah. And when he said this, he started crying. Is that, oh Allah, don't take my life in a moment where I'm drinking, but it should be in the moment where I'm feeling bad. Meaning, it's possible you'll never leave that sin that you're committing, but the journey, the struggle should always be there. That I gotta leave this. I shouldn't feel good doing this. I shouldn't feel good. That's why when the Prophet was asked, Mal Iman, he said, what is Iman? He said, Ida sarratka hasanatuk. When you do good and it makes you feel happy, not proud, it makes you feel happy. So when you guys come here, you should be smiling. You're doing something good. قُلْ بِفَضْلِ اللَّهِ وَبِرَحْمَتِهِ وَبِذَلِكَ فَلْيَفْرَحُوا. Should be the best day of your week, man. Not because it's miftah, but just because it's, you do something very good. Allah says, say it is out of the fadl of Allah and then be happy. Be happy. I saw one student in madrasa, in our boarding school. He's walking with I'm not going to give that an example. He was walking with the Quran in his hand like this in the hallway, and he was like he had this expression of a depressed person. Like he was not happy. So, and there was like two students next to him, and I'm walking, and I don't like seeing people like that. So I say to him, yeah, assalamu alaikum, man, you're right, man? Oh, what's wrong with you, man? Why are you not smiling for? Are you holding a Bible in a church or something? Like if you're holding a Bible in a church, you should be depressed. All right? But you're holding a Quran in a madrasa. The fact that Allah accepted you to be in a madrasa, becoming a hafiz, and you have a Quran, come on, man. Why are you depressed for? Why you all like frown? Why are you frowning? Come on, man, be happy, smile, man. You should be happy. Allah accepted you. إِذَا سَرَّتْكَ حَسَنَتُكَ وَسَاءَتْكَ سَيِّئَتُكَ. You're going to do. The Prophet did not say you're going to leave sins. The Prophet said that when you commit a sin, it makes you feel bad. May Allah never put us in a situation where, when an anesthesiologist puts you to sleep and it cuts you up, you don't feel it. You know what I'm talking about? At time, some people, because they don't access knowledge and scholars and good environments enough, they become like that with sinning. They don't even feel it anymore. Of course, Allah will always forgive us if we do tawbah, but the condition is we have to do tawbah. And a person who has been put to sleep doesn't even know what he's doing wrong or she's doing wrong. So may Allah never make us like that. Say Ameen. Like people become just numb to hurting people's feelings. Numb. Like they don't even feel bad anymore. Like how do you not feel bad? I compiled probably like 7-8 hadith, and I'll ask Shaykh Hassan to help me out with this. But at times the hadith where the Prophet ﷺ, something happened and he got mad at somebody and it was justifiable. Like he expressed like anger at somebody. To make up for the fact that the Prophet was angry at that person, the Prophet would do so much to win their heart, to make them feel better. It was a sunnah to do that. It made like for me, when I get mad at I'm not being self-righteous, when I get mad at a student, man, that costs me a lot of money. It gets very expensive. Now I gotta take them out to eat, bring them food, spend more time with them, so I just don't get mad. All right? Today I got a little angry at two people in the office. I was just like, hey, come on, man, we need this. And I kind of expressed my anger, frustration. I was angry. So I just like a little bit like. Then I left, and I went to teach, and the whole time like, man, I gotta go back and talk to these guys and chill with them and spend time with them and joke with them, and then to spend another 2 hours with them, right? Because it should make you feel bad. You shouldn't feel good that I made someone feel bad. So إِذَا سَرَّتْكَ حَسَنَتُكَ سَاءَتْكَ سَيِّئَتُكَ. So Salaf al-Salihin would say 3 places we would like to die. One is in the safar of jihad. Safar, meaning on the way there, while you're there, or on the way back. This is safar. On the safar of Hajj and Umrah. And the third, what do you think the third one is? Ramadan. This was hani'an lak, okay? So they used to do a lot of Hajj because they wanted to die there, right? And so some of them, Al-Aswad, he did 80 Hajj, between Umrah and Hajj, 80 of them, right? And they say that Ata ibn Abi Rabah, he did 70 Hajj and he only lived 100 years. How many Hajj? 70 Hajj. These are among the Salaf al-Salihin that I compiled, that I just read, that did more than 40 Hajj. 40! How many? Ek dafa kar liya Umar ne, mashallah. Okay. 40 Hajj. Sa'id bin Musayyib, Sa'id bin Sulaiman, Abbas bin Samura, Ayub as-Sakhtiyani. These are people that and there's a lot more that I wrote. These are people that some names you know, that did more than 40 Hajj. And the reason why they kept on doing Hajj is because they felt that there's nothing more greater than just no deed. Umar ibn al-Khattab says, وَالَّذِي نَفْسُ عُمَرْ بِيَدِهِ مَا رَفَعَتْ نَاقَةٌ خُفَّهَا وَلَا وَضَعَتْهُ إِلَّا رَفَعَ اللَّهُ لَهُ دَرَجَةً. That this, when you're in the path of Allah going for Hajj, the camel does not raise its foot like this, nor put it down, except for Allah elevates you one status. وَحَطَّ عَنْهُ بِهَا خَطِيئَةً. Allah removes one sin. وَكَتَبَ لَهُ بِهَا حَسَنًا. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala writes a good deed for you. And that's why in the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, وَلِلَّهِ عَلَى النَّاسِ حِجُّ الْبَيْتِ مِنِ اسْتَطَاعَ إِلَيْهِ سَبِيلًا وَمَنْ كَفَرَ فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ غَنِيٌّ عَنِ الْعَالَمِينَ. Allah says those who can come for Hajj, they should go for Hajj. The Prophet was asked, what is the greatest deed? The Prophet said, إِيمَانٌ بِاللَّهِ وَرَسُولِهِ. First is Iman. Then what's the greatest deed after that? Al-jihadu fi sabilillah, striving in the path of Allah. Then after that, Hajj. So this is something the reason why, something Imam Ghazali writes is so beautiful. He says under this verse, وَطَهِّرْ بَيْتِيَ لِلطَّائِفِينَ, and purify my house for those who come. He says a person, listen to this. He says he said, تَعَلَّقَتْ قُلُوبُ الْمُحِبِّينَ بِبَيْتِ مَحْبُوبِهِمْ فَكُلَّمَا ذُكِرَ لَهُمْ ذَلِكَ الْبَيْتِ حَنُّوا وَكُلَّمَا تَذَكَّرُوا بُعْدَهُمْ عَنْهُ أَنُّوا. He says that the hearts of the lovers of Allah, Allah attached to His own house. All right, so whenever the house of Allah is mentioned, they yearn for it. And whenever they remember their distance, we're so far from the Kaaba, they cry. Whenever Medina is mentioned, we yearn to go to Medina. Whenever Mecca is mentioned, we yearn to go. If the yearning for Mecca and Medina leaves our heart, something is wrong with our heart. Every time someone mentions Medina's name, the city of Medina, oh Allah take me there, you should say that. Every time someone mentions Hajj, oh Allah accept your Hajj, may Allah take me for Hajj one day too. Anytime someone remembers, someone sees a picture of the Kaaba or sees, I know one widow, she's an auntie of her community. Well, all she does, I know a lot of aunties in our community do that too, is she just watches the Kaaba, that live feed. You know what I'm talking about? That's beautiful, man. They just watch the live feed. Her husband passed away 25 years ago. 25 years ago, he was a young man, and all she does is watches live feed of when you come to her house, she's watching it. And she's just asking Allah, oh Allah take me, Allah take me. And then when I ask her, she says, I don't want to burden anybody because she's pretty sick. And then her son one time took her for Umrah, and man, subhanAllah, her son used to carry her, pick up her wheelchair, walk with her like this, and subhanAllah, it's such a beautiful, beautiful thing. My mother has gone for Umrah so many times, and mashallah, Allah give her long life. And man, every time we go for Umrah, one time we went, our brothers went 3 times, and every time one of her sons goes, she's always like shaming us. She's like, you don't think about your mom, huh? We're like, you just went right now. So who cares? I want to go again. And so then, all right, we go. And then the next time, the whole next 3 months, she's like, oh, my son took me, and he did this, my son did this, my son did this. We're like, all right, I'll take you too then. All right. And then she comes back and she's like, so now, I don't want to mention the person, but like, because when you praise someone, now she goes with some sisters from our community, and basically she refuses to go with any of her sons unless they go too. So like now they have to come. So now like we're gonna make them come now. Like we have to make sure. She just wants to go for Umrah every single opportunity she has. Every opportunity she has. And she basically tells, when we say to her, inshallah bring you back with health, she's like, don't make that dua. But then it's sunnah to make that dua. So we're like, no, it's sunnah, You come back with health and you come back with more wealth, ghanim and salim. It's sunnah. So people who love Allah, he says, Imam Ghazali, he says, Allah has attached, to see how much you love Allah, Allah has attached the love of His with the love of His house. And so whenever Allah's house is mentioned, they yearn for it. And whenever they remember the distance from it, they cry. And that's why the Prophet, he says, this is the last hadith about this. I'm going to explain a few things that we need to do for the future. He says, a person who's not held back because of haja dhahira, like there is a very, very evident need, Everyone, the reason why the Prophet said Hajatun Zahira is because everybody can make the excuse that something's happening in my life. Am I right or wrong? Like, this is a very clear reason why you can't go. Clear. I'll give my own personal, personally. I remember I went Hajj 2017, 18, 19. I had visa, and I had a ticket. Everything was clear, but just 2 weeks before Hajj, just like how, sometimes people do, I went Hajj many times. I was like, you know what? This year I'm not gonna go. Right? And I made it. In my mind, I justified that by saying I'm gonna stay with my mom. But my mom doesn't need me. My mom was good. And I justified that I'll stay with my students, I'll take them up north. And I did that. But guess what? After that, Allah deprived me of Hajj. COVID happened. 2021, 22, 23, no Hajj. 24, I said, oh, I gotta go for Hajj somehow. If the Saudi government hears this, they're gonna probably arrest me. I don't care what happens, I'm going with or without a visa. I tried. Nothing. Literally nothing. I'm like, you know what? I was so fed up that maybe I was thinking Allah is just not calling me to His house. So the morning of, literally, Sheikh Hassan's my witness, the morning of the last flights going for Hajj, I booked my flight from Toronto. I had visit visa, I had business visa. And I got that business visa the same morning. I applied for it, got it right away, because you can do it online. I drove to Toronto, sat at the airport. I said, they're like, oh, you going for Hajj? Like, yep, I'm going for Hajj. We'll see what happens. I'm going. I land in Jeddah. They tell me, there's no way you can take you there. I call someone. He said, look, I know this guy who can probably sneak you in. They were literally, you guys heard the stories last year, right? They were arresting people, sending them back. The whole highway of Jeddah just had people sitting on the corners because they kept on going inside Haram and bringing you out and dropping you off there. Like this is the craziest I've ever seen anything. We go, they send some guy, the guy's pretty confident going across. I was making dua, crying, making dua. The guy's like, stop crying, man. He's like, they're gonna see you, they pretend like you belong here. All right, cool. You can't. So now we get to the first security, there are like 3 checkpoints. We get to the first checkpoint, they let me through. Second checkpoint, they look at me, boom, they turn my car on, they said, if you come back in, we'll arrest you. They send me back. The guy, wallahi, this is on record, wallahi, the guy refused to go back again. I said, we're gonna drop me off here. I'm like, come on, please, man. Don't drop me off, maybe someone else is ready to do it. So he called his friend, he said, you wanna try? He's like, I'll try. How much money are you gonna give? I'm like, I don't care, I'll give you as much money you want. Do it for the sake of Allah. That didn't work. Then another car comes, in the middle of nowhere, picks me up, and it takes me from a different checkpoint. And I was just sitting there like, yo, please, man. And I got through. Wallahi, when I got through, I was like, man, subhanAllah, I'm through. Then when I get through, I find out they're checking the passes everywhere we go. So now I'm always like, I'm a fugitive in Makkah. Okay? Literally, I'm a fugitive in Makkah. I'm literally a fugitive in Hajj. Last year, Hajj, no tent accepted me. They said, you can't come in because you have to have the pass. In Arafah, people know Arafah, you have a tent. I tried to get into a tent. They said, you can't come in. I had to walk in. No one walks in Arafah. I had to walk in Arafah for hours to go to like a third world country region where they don't check those passes. All right? Then I sat with them in an Egyptian tent. I'm like, okay, I can make it now. As I'm sitting there, one guy comes up to me and says, brother, you have to leave. I'm like, come on, man. Like, let me slide now, bro. He's like, you can't sit here. Can I get water? Like, I'll give you water. Leave. I was like, astaghfirullah, man. Then I called one of my friends who was also part of the Pakistani group, and he got me in, and I sat with them. So this is me repenting to Allah. Allah, I'm never going to go through that in my life again. If I have an opportunity, I'm taking it. So this is Haja Zahira. The Prophet said, if there's not a clear reason why you can't go for Hajj, or maradun habis, or some sickness, or sultanun ja'ir, people of Gaza, or they're not oppressed. There's this, you can't leave. Whatever happens, you can't leave. One of the best things I did in my life is last Umrah when I went. This was a time where Farhan Abdul Aziz just came back from Gaza. He came straight there, and they had like all these shuhada or their families. He was telling them, I'm going for Umrah, and people were telling him, can you do Umrah on our behalf? We're not sure if we're ever going to make it. Can you do Umrah on our behalf? So he's writing their names down. And then he comes for Umrah and he talks to us. He's like, there's this one, the name of the shaheed. This is the person, or this is his father, this is the person. And subhanAllah, by the time he came for Medina and went to Mecca, like 14 names of the people that gave him names to do Umrah on their behalf, they had passed away by then. So he was planning to do Umrah on their behalf and then called them. Like subhanAllah, he was planning to call them, video call them. So now he just took, he just sent him a voice note. Everyone, anytime he used to do it, whenever someone did it, we would send him a voice note. We did this for Umrah, may Allah accept on behalf of the shaheed. How many people, same thing for Hajj. So this Sultan Jair, someone oppressive king or, zalim that doesn't let you out. And the Prophet said, a present few things. Number one, a very clear need. Number two is some term of terminal illness. Some method, some way or that you can't go because of some sickness. Sultan and Jair, oppressive regime. These three things, if you don't have that in your life, وَلَمْ يَحُجْ, and you don't do Hajj, and you die, the Prophet said, your death will either be as a Yahudi or Nasrani, not as a Muslim. You will not die in the state of Islam. You'd rather just die as a Jew or a Christian. That's the Prophet's words, not my words. Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. The Prophet ﷺ said in the hadith, إِنَّ عَبْدًا صَحَّحْتُ لَهُ جِسْمَهُ, in the hadith al-Qudsi, وَوَسَّعْتُ عَلَيْهِ فِي الْمَعِيشَةِ, that if I have given health to one of my servants, and I have expanded their wealth, and 5 years go by, and they don't do Hajj, this person is a person who is deprived of the mercy of Allah. So for us, I'm telling you this, make intention, we're North America. We can make intention at least to do Hajj as soon as possible, but Umrah as frequent as possible. Okay? So Hajj as soon as possible and Umrah as frequent as possible. And one of the things that people always debate over is like, should I give more sadaqah or should I do more Umrah? Bro, do both. Just cut down on your needs. Do both. Oh, if I went to Umrah for $3,000, no, go for Umrah and also give sadaqah. This is where no one ever argued over which one is better. Our elders, when they would ask, should I keep on doing more Hajj or give sadaqah? They would not say do more Hajj, but they would give rewards of Hajj, meaning do Hajj and also give sadaqah. Do both. You can easily do both. Just cut down on your own things. Now, how do we prepare? This is something that this is my own thought process for you all. How do we prepare to go for Hajj? For this gathering sitting here. Listen, brothers and sisters, change your intention while you're doing whatever you're doing. You're going to college, you're going to university, you're earning money. I want you all sitting here today to change your intention. Keep doing that, but change your intention. I'm going to get a college education, to get a job, so I can earn more money, so I can use that money to worship Allah. What do you think? How do you think they did 40 Hajj? If you don't have money, you can't go for Hajj. You get what I'm saying? How do you think someone did 70 Hajj? That bro was balling, man. Like they were earning money. But the intention behind earning money was not, oh, I'm going to build a bigger house. I'm going to get more cars. I'm going to have more of this. No, your intention has to be clear. I'm going to earn money. I'm going to earn money. I'm going to hustle. I'm going to be a go-getter. But all the money I earn, this money is going to be dedicated for Allah. Yeah, Abdul Rahman bin Auf earned a lot of money, but people don't talk about how much he gave in the path of Allah. Allah has given people different ni'mas, and our job is to use those ni'mas for Allah's deen. Someone Allah has given ni'mah of time, use it for Allah. Some people don't have the ni'mah of time. A mother has 8 kids, father taking care of 8 children, 2 of them are sick. The guy doesn't have time to come to masjid. He doesn't have time to go for different things. So now, because he doesn't, Allah, this is a ni'mah of Allah. نِعْمَتَانِ مَغْبُونَ فِيمَا كَثِيرٍ مِنَ النَّاسِ الصِّحَّةُ وَالْفَرَاغُ. People get deceived. When Allah has given you time, use your time. Now Allah has given you the ability to earn money. Change your intention. Change your intention. Abu Darda anhu, he himself used to say, listen to this, I love this statement. He used to say, I stand right here, أُبَايَ عَلَيْهِ أَرْبَحْ كُلَّ يَوْمٍ 300 dinar. He said, I stand right here in my little place over here selling things. He's a Sahabi who's guaranteed Jannah, but he's a merchant. Imagine like Imagine looking at a person. I'm not saying we should ever look down upon somebody or look up, but you know when you see someone with a stall in the middle of the mall? You know what I'm saying? And not you know when you go like you know some malls like Somerset, like we know where we are. We go to the poor sections of Somerset, right? And we go across the little bridge just to take pictures, right? This is where and some people are like, no, I'll just go to Oakland Mall. It's shutting down, all right? And so some people like this different levels. So imagine you're in Oakland Mall that's basically shutting down, and then in that Oakland Mall that's shutting down, the guy has a stall selling phone covers in the middle. The guy's just trying to make a living, correct? He's just making a living. He's hustling. That's the guy that even the mall is closed, he's still there. That's the last thing that's going to be closed. The stores will close before 6 o'clock, but that's the last thing that's going to close. So Abu Darda, who is basically selling things at a stall, like in a marketplace. Not like sitting as a manager, CEO. No, he's selling things. And he's making money. And he's saying, I make money, but I still pray salah every day in the masjid. Ashhadu salata fi kulli yawmin fil masjid. I pray salah in the masjid every single day. He didn't say how many salahs. Meaning you pray salah in the masjid every single day. You always have to go to the masjid. If based on your work in your college, you can only go once a day, you go once a day. But there's no excuse to go less than once a day. You follow? No excuse at all. There's like someone can miss one meal a day. If you know nowadays Westerns have like 3 meals that never happened in the history of the world, right? You can miss one meal, second meal, but you're gonna eat at least once a day. At least you gotta eat something. You gotta drink at least once a day. You gotta pray. You gotta come to masjid at least once a day, right? So he said, go to masjid. Then he says, amma inni la aqulu inna dhalika laysa bihalalin. He says, I'm not saying what I'm doing over here is haram. ولكني أحب أن أكون من الذين قال الله فيهم. He said, rather the only reason why I do this is because I want to be considered. Look at his intention. He said, my intention is not to earn money. My intention is, Allah says, رِجَالٌ لَا تُلْهِهِمْ تِجَارَةٌ وَلَا بَيْعٌ عَنْ ذِكْرِ اللَّهِ. These are people that no business, no transaction ever distracts them from remembering Allah and praying salah. And giving zakat. عن ذكر الله وإقام الصلاة وإيتاء الزكاة. So Allah speaks about people who are doing business, earning money, making a living. Allah says, these are great people. These are great people. Why? Because they earn money, make a living, but that money and their earning does not distract them from Allah's remembrance, establishing salah in the masjid, and giving charity. So you know what he said? He says, if I wasn't doing business, I would not be considered among those people. The reason why I do business is because I want to be considered among those who Allah praised. I want to show Allah, I do business, but I still pray. I do business, I still remember you. I do business, I make money, but I still give in your path. So change. Mom is doing a thabat thing about why become a doctor. Yeah, why not? He's talking about. He was sitting with me the other day. He's like, yeah, we're gonna talk about becoming a doctor and the reasons behind. Your money. You want to help people? You can help people. Just clean the masjid. Yeah, go ahead, become a doctor. But why are you becoming doctor? Why you want to earn money? That needs to change. You follow me? You're earning money. So now, how do you prepare for Hajj? Brothers and sisters, man, start saving up money. Literally, even if your income is $1,000 a month, start saving money $10 a month. Start saving money. And that money, if you have an opportunity to go for Umrah, you go for Umrah. If you have an opportunity to go for Hajj, you go for Hajj. We had a madrasa student, a boarding student, whose parents would give him monthly allowance. He would literally live in poverty, but save the monthly allowance every single year so he can go for Umrah. He would literally live in, young kids don't want it. Young kids, what do they want to do? They want to eat things, they want to go out, but he would save the dad's monthly allowance and put it aside and use that, and then he would have a certain amount, and then he'll say, Dad, I want to go for Umrah. Dad would be like, hey man, I can't afford it. But Dad, I already have this much. It's only this much left. Look at us. We have to, remember the example I gave before? And I'm going to say it again. This is just an example that really resonates with me. We cannot give Allah our leftover. We have to distribute it ahead of time. So for example, when you go to a restaurant and you order food, And this just happened 2 weeks ago. You order food, there's 2 ways of taking food back for your loved one. One is you eat food, and then whatever's left over, you get it boxed. And you take the leftover for your wife or your mother. Man, maybe once or twice it'll be respectful, but like that's not that respectful. The other way is when you sit down, you remember your wife or your mother or your husband, and you're like, can you please get this to go? Because you know they like that. So before you even start eating, you've already distributed that portion, correct? Which one is more respectful? The second approach, I brought food for my wife recently. We were gone to a restaurant, I don't know where I was, but we went there and I brought her food. Wallahi, the first thing she asked me, is this leftover? I said, even my leftover has barakah, baby. I did say that, but no, I did say that, I'm not lying, I did say that. Like, well, even my leftover, man, come on, even the little rice grain over there, come on, you know? But no, I said to her, no, this I ordered for you because I know you like this. You think, then I opened the box. I said, you think I ordered this? She looked at it, she said, oh yeah, for sure. It was fattoush, I don't like fattoush. I was like, we're salad. I'm like, I don't eat salad. I bought this for you, right? Even though it was salad, it's like only $4, but she felt so honored that I thought about her. You follow me? All right, what that means for us is you earn money. It doesn't matter how much you earn. Now watch, you know when you're working hard, you're studying and you don't feel motivated? You don't feel motivated. Man, I don't want to study for this exam. Don't do that. Don't take the easier route right now. Why? Because the people of Gaza cannot take an easier route. You understand? So now I was speaking to Sheikh Hassan's dad a few weeks ago. Wallahi, I have never in my life been more motivated to become a millionaire than today. I want to be a millionaire. Wallahi, I want to have money right now. And Allah is my witness. Every penny I get, I will give it to those people. Allah is my witness. I would not even hesitate. And I tell everyone now, I say, make money, bro, but for the sake of Allah. Don't cheat God. Don't cheat God. If you're sincere, wallahi, Allah will give you money. And alhamdulillah, I'm not a millionaire yet, but you know, we're getting there. We're getting there. I'll buy fattoush from a different place now. Right? My car, if the moment you see my BMW leaving that parking lot, you know Allah is sending some money for me. The moment it leaves from there, because it's been there for 4 years. I can't afford an engine for that car. Okay, so the moment that car leaves that, you should say mashallah, mazid fazid. That's what you should start saying, because something's happening. What are you talking about? You don't have the right to complain, man. You're at Wayne State University, sitting in the library, studying chemistry, whatever you are, and you're like, oh man, this is so hard. Do it. Get the best grades. And change your intention. Don't do some like supply chain management degree. What are you going to do with that degree? I'm sorry if someone is doing a supply chain management degree. I'm just saying, come on, man. Like, if you're gonna do it, do something that's gonna be worth it. Inshallah, you'll make, of course, risk is in the hands of Allah, correct? But you will never hear this from anybody. Study hard, man. Do the hardest thing that you can do when you're young. Cut down the gym, cut down basketball, cut down sports, cut down this, cut down friends, so that you could spend that time and that money that you earn, you can spend it in the path of Allah. This is how they went for Hajj. This is how they used to save all their money for Hajj. They used to save all their money for the sake of Allah. They never used to save it for homes. Come on, man. They used to save it for their home in Jannah. I'm not saying be reckless, but you go to the Bay Area, wallahi, people in the Bay Area, yes, I'm talking to you. People in the Bay Area, no, I'm looking at the camera. All right, people in the Bay Area have more than $500,000, $700,000 in their account. They're saving it, but they're not willing to give $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $5,000 for charity. Some of the most difficult place to get money is there. This guy's from there. Why, Dawood? Because the houses are so expensive, and even if you get an Islamic finance loan or any loan, you have to give 10, 20% down payment. So all that money is being saved for a down payment, just so they can buy a house. I asked a few of my friends that are there. I'm not saying all of them. I'm saying this is a very common thing among young people there, not people who've been there for a while. So I'm not, well, move, man. What are you doing there? Go somewhere else. Live in a farm. Send your money to Gaza. Seriously, man. Live in like extended suites. What is this place called? Those Staybridge suites or something, right? Like, but the first thing I'm saying to you is that the way they prepared to go for Hajj is they earned halal money. So this is not a bad thing. Now after this discussion we had together, change your intention to study and earn so you can use that for the sake of Allah, and don't give your leftovers, distribute from now. Even if you're not earning money that much right now, start saving. Make a Hajj fund. Make a Hajj and Umrah account, and automatic deposits going there, whatever is easy for you, even if it's $5, $10, it's just going there every single month. And so now you're already preparing for Hajj. Make a small, charity account, and it's going there, 5, 10, 20, whatever. Start doing it every single month. So before, when you think of how much your income is, you're thinking of your income after that. Because whatever you have is not what you have. What you gave is what you have. So that's your true income. All right, that's number one. Number two, who gets accepted to go for Hajj? Who gets? Allah says, وَمَنْ يُعَظِّمْ شَعَائِرَ اللَّهِ فَإِنَّهَا مِنْ تَقْوَى الْقُلُوبِ. Allah speaks about Imam Ghazali, he says, based on this ayah, he says that a person who has the sanctity, the sacredness, the azama of the things that remind them of God, the things that remind them of Allah, a masjid, the Quran, people who recite Quran, the Kaaba, all the sha'air, how some people they collect those cards, they spend so much money. Or sometimes, I remember when I was younger, one of the baseball players spat his baseball gum and the guy grabbed it and he's put it in a case. I'm just giving you stupid examples so you understand what ta'zeem sha'air means. This is that guy's gum. All right? The guy was Derek Jeter. It was his gum. Okay, it was his gum, chewed gum. All right? This is where this guy touched me. He touched me. I mean, one time I was with somebody and he was sweating and he was wearing Pakistan together. This guy really is an example of ta'zeem. He really, for some reason, honors me a lot. For some reason, I don't deserve it. So he was sitting next to me and he was speaking in English. I was translating Urdu. He was speaking English. I was translating Urdu. The dude was, because he was speaking in such a big audience, he was like sweating. And it was hot. I looked around for a napkin. I didn't have a napkin. So I took my hand and I wiped his face like this. From his sweat. I just wiped his face like this. Right? I'm like, all right, just to make me comfortable. The guy gets done. He's like, Mufti Saab, I'm never washing my face again in my life. And that's how he talks. All right? Saab, I will never, ever wash my face again. Ever. Okay? So it's like, all right, what's wrong with you? Wash your face, brother. Okay, this is ta'zeem of sha'air. You want to get accepted for Umrah? You want to get accepted for Hajj? You want to get accepted to go to Gaza? Have ta'zeem of these places. Have azama. Have some sanctity, man. These places are sacred. These people are sacred. How dare you? Honestly, I don't care if you get offended. How dare you go on Instagram? And I don't go on Instagram, but how dare you go on Instagram and you see a picture? Someone showed me this. This guy, this girl, 7-year-old girl walking around playing, getting water. Young girl. And then you see it on Instagram because it's all over Instagram. And then the next picture is of that same girl dead in her dad's lap, and the dad's kissing her feet. And her brother's just crying, bawling. Okay, you saw that, you looked, and then next thing you know, you're looking for jewelry. Next thing you know, you commit sins. Next thing you know, you're watching sports. Come on, man. Where's your ta'zeem? Where's your azama? That thing you should put your phone down right there. Pray 2 rakats. Shed a few tears, man. The amount of resources we have to keep our hearts soft, trust me, people in the past didn't have that much. They would have to look for things to keep their heart. They would have to go to people and say, hey, soften my heart. We don't even have to do that anymore. Someone asked me about social media, how bad. I'm like, I don't know, man. I'll tell you something. When I go on my, someone shows me, and I see these things, I think it's a ni'mah, man. The fact that you can see this right in the click of a finger, and the moment you see it, you can cry, you can pray to rakats, it's a beautiful thing. But why are we, this is not azamah. This is not azamah. Those who have azamah for people in places like this, Allah accepts them for greater causes. You have to have, azamah means respect, revere. This is sacred, man. This is the blood of a shaheed. This is a sacred thing, man. This is the masjid, it's sacred. You shouldn't be talking in the masjid. You know, we go to the masjid, Allah is looking at us. Allah is looking at us. Look at how, let me see how they treat my masjid in Warren. Let me see how they treat masjid in Canton. Forget IGD, no. Let me see how they treat IGD. Let me see how they treat IGD. Let me see how they act after Jum'ah. Allah's watching. Allah's watching. All right? All right, you're sitting down for khutbah. I'm sorry, I'm going to say this. You're sitting down for khutbah on your phone, just scrolling through your phone, looking at scores, doing this. Allah said, that's what you're going to do in my house in Canton? You're not coming to my house in Makkah. Because if that's what you can do there, then imagine you sitting in front of the Kaaba doing that. What's going to stop you from that? Those who have azamah here, Allah accepts them, and then they go there. I told you many weeks ago, one of our scholars, Hazrat Gangohi Rahmatullah alayhi, someone came to him and gave him a sheet or cloth. He just came back from Umrah. He gave him a shawl from Medina. He said, Hazrat, मैं आपके लिए ये मदीना से लेकर आया हूँ. I brought you a shawl from Medina. And so Hazrat took the shawl and he started wiping his face like this, all over his face. Started doing this and he started kissing it, putting it in his eyes. So there's always that fool in the gathering, always. There's always one of those guys. So one of those guys that were sitting there, he looks at Hazrat and he says, Hazrat, Sheikh, Hazrat means Sheikh. Sheikh, this shawl is made in China. Where is it made? In China. Why are you kissing it and putting your eyes over it and stuff? You know what he said? Madina ki to hawa to lagi hai. At least this shawl touched the breeze of Medina. There's a level of respect I have for this because the breeze of Medina touched it. That's it. Medina ki. That's it. Khalas. Baytiya. This is my house. The nisbah changes everything. So have some revere and respect for the things that belong to Allah, remind you of Allah. Think of those things in your life right now. What are they? Tell me. First, give me some examples. Number one, masjid. Masjid. Number two, this one example is masjid. Number two, what else? What would you say? Huh? Mushaf, the Quran. Okay, what is mushaf? When you're in front of the Quran, when someone's reading the Quran, all the Quran itself. Okay, you should have respect for it. And respect it in a way, like, again, man, I don't want to sound self-righteous, but I'm gonna say this. I'm sleeping in my mom's house recently, because there's some, that money that's coming in. So with that money that's coming in, I'm doing some renovation in my house, all right? So I'm next door. And so I slept in the middle room like 2 days. And one time I went to the middle room. You know that Sheikh Abdullah where he does the middle room. In the middle room, one day I was sitting and I saw on the bookshelf, my mom has a bookshelf, not towards the feet, but a little bit towards that way. And there's all these books there. So I'm like, okay, maybe if there's all these books written by some Jew or Christian, I don't care about that. But it's Bukhari, Muslim, Targhib al-Tarhib, books of hadith. Now I'm sitting there thinking, and I'm there watching highlights of the playoffs. I felt very uncomfortable. I never went back in that room to do that again. Like this in front of the book, in front of Sahih Bukhari, I'm gonna do this. Wallah, I'm saying I'm not even that pious. We all can get to that level. You know why? Because people of sins are more respectful. You get what I'm saying? People who do good deeds, like they kind of like, yo, I just gave $1 million. They kind of feel like they have that. Some of the best people in the world are the ones who actually know they're bad. They actually know they commit sins. So they're looking for a way to Jannah.